with the one and only top pick tonight of the free-for-all, Amity LeVay. What is going on?
Hi, Papa Dank. How are
Hi,
you?
Amity. Should I get my earplugs on?
No. See, I'm in a really good mood today. So, like you heard him say, I was the #1 pick out of this entire thing here today. Hours and hours that we were sitting here, I came out on top. Now, that's not really much of a surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody because clearly, come on, right?
All right. What about tonight? Now that Tiffany has won that Goddesses Championship, you attacked her tonight. What is up with that?
This is going to be so easy because I've already beaten Tiffany Avatar. And if I could beat her, like, come on. It's not even much of a challenge. So, Tiff, I guess I'll see you soon, Cotton Candy Princess.
All right. Once again, congratulations, Amity LeVay.
Thanks, Papa Dank. Do you want me to scream?
I got to go, Amity.
Yeah, good idea.
What's going on, wrestling fans? I'm here to tell you that on March 16th in Brentwood, New York, it's the big event where Papa Dank and Beyond the Barricade will be there. And joining them will not only be PJ Savage, the Cotton Candy Princess Tiffany Avatar, but just recently added is, the voice of WrestlePro, Creator Pro Wrestling, Invictus Pro Wrestling, Deadlock Pro Wrestling, MMA, kickboxing, you name it, the list goes on and on. Yours truly, Ryan Peterson, a.k.a. Sexy Ryan. I am looking forward to being a part of that amazing crew and hope to see all of you at the big event, live from Brentwood.
All right, go ahead.
And a protector, by the way.
Yeah.
So you really were thinking.
I know you got to go, but how do you feel being here real quick?
I am so excited to be here.
What about, Michael Myers?
We could add 2 more dents to this chip.
Follow her. Where can you follow you at?
You can follow me on Instagram
So I'm out of this bitch. Got a big match tonight at Victory Pro Wrestling, right, Brett?
Yes. Hola. First of all, I have to say it in front of me. I'm so sorry.
I wish I could, what is it, Ving?
Papa Dank, do you edit these videos?
Steven has there.
You don't want to miss this one. No.
Welcome to Beyond the Barricade. I am your host, Papa Dank. Once again, thank you for joining me tonight. Now let me bring to you my very special guest, the one, the only, Logan Knights. What is up, bud?
Much, man. How's it going for you?
It's going great. The weather's starting to turn in Long Island, New York. It's starting to get warmer.
It's starting to get warmer here too, man. I feel like there really no bounds to the weather right now. Everybody's experiencing the same thing. It's not, north is cold, the south is hot. Colder, everybody's hot.
Yeah, man. The freaking weekend was all rainy and stuff and cold, man. It was terrible. All right, enough about me. Let's go into you. What you got going on? You got a bunch of stuff going on over here. Yeah. Oh.
Friends available.
Yeah. I don't know if it's me or you cutting in and out. One of us is cutting in and out.
Ooh.
But anyway, April 6th and the 28th, you have only friends available dates.
Yeah, I do. I actually need to change that because I actually decided today that I'm going to go to Philadelphia for Mania weekend for April 6th. I try to get Stormy to come with me, but she's got her shoot job, unfortunately, so I'm just going to be solo riding it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've never been east of Georgia or Detroit. That kind of that margin right there. I've never been up through the original 13,
Right.
So that'll be a fun trip for sure, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't really expect to wrestle in any companies, but I've never been to a Mania weekend for indie wrestling or just WrestleMania in general. So I'm excited to see what all the buzz and culture is about.
That is awesome, man. Yeah, man. I was hoping to make it there myself, but we'll see. It's still early. All right, let's talk about this tag team grudge match coming up.
Oh, yeah, man. I got a tag team match with my partner, Rob Boris. I wrestled for a company called Square Circle Pro out in West Texas that is running these events. And we've been having a little bit of beef with Wild Card, Jed Bingham, and Draven Reeves, but nothing that can't be solved in the ring, so to say. I'm looking forward to those events though, because those are always like really fun events. They're like 18 or older type bar events, and I always have fun at those. You get to let loose a little bit.
That's dope, man. All right, let's go into Hometown Heroes, the fight for Silas. Tell me how this came about, this event.
Yeah, so WFC is the company that runs that. I haven't been to WFC in probably, I want to say 3 years now, and I'm not necessarily confirmed for the show yet. However, there is a rodeo clown that I've been wanting to wrestle for a while that's delivering an open challenge that night, so I might have to take him up on the offer.
Okay, all right. Well, let's talk about Lubbock Pro Wrestling. Right?
Yeah. So that's the same thing as the Squared Circle Pro. It's the same event. We have Tito Santana and Greg the Hammer Valentine coming through on that card. So I'm really excited to meet two of those legends. I've had a lot of comparisons to Greg the Hammer in my day just for my in-ring appearance. I'm very flamboyant, so those kind of guys from back in the 80s kind of always get compared to me. And I'm glad I finally get to meet them. Maybe have a little like entrance jacket off. You know what I mean? Right. See who has a better entrance jacket.
Okay, all right. I met Tito at an event we were doing, and he's just a nice guy. I like him.
I've heard the same. Tito Santana has actually been in that region a couple of times before, and everybody's always said great things about him. So
good stuff. All right, let's go into your history. Let's talk about how you fell in love with professional wrestling.
Yeah, man, I honestly have the kind of like run-of-the-mill story. Like, I had a uncle who was into professional wrestling, and he just had all the VHS tapes and like the live shows. He would buy the pay-per-view all the time, and that's kind of how I got started watching. I started watching when I was like 2 or 3 years old. My first like actual memory of watching wrestling was probably Edge and the Hardys and the Dudley Boys up at WrestleMania when they were doing TLC. So like, I was like 2 or 3 or 4 or something like that, and there's no way I could have like comprehended how awesome it was at the time, but I knew right then and there, I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen, and I haven't been around a long time, so that has to say something. But like,
nice.
Yeah, I would credit Edge and the Hardy Boys for getting me into professional wrestling. I mean, after that, I just was a fan for a really long time, and about when I was like 18 or 19, I found out about indie wrestling in Oklahoma. It was Mid-South Wrestling at the time, and I ended up getting training through somebody that wrestled for Mid-South called Drake Gallows, and that's kind of how I started up.
Okay, all right. Say hello to Mr. Herb Simmons. How are you, sir?
What's up, Herb?
Herb runs SICW Wrestling, where you can catch the Papa Dank commercial on their YouTube channel following during their shows. So thanks for joining us, Herb. All right, let's go into your first professional match. Who was your first opponent, and what were your thoughts?
Oh gosh, man, my I couldn't tell you my first opponent because my first match was actually a Rumble, so it was it was multiple people, and it was not good.
I've heard that before, though. I've heard people being in Rumbles. All right, so let's talk about your second professional.
Yeah, my second match was actually this guy named JD. He's a local wrestler. He didn't really expand much outside of Oklahoma, but he knew his shit for the time, and he helped me right through. I didn't have any problems, and which was good because the next like 2, maybe even 3 years of my experience wrestling was a whole lot of trial and error. So I'm glad I got that one match before I was like, oh wow, I'm in the trenches now.
I'm in the trenches now, man. I gotta get going.
Yeah, it was good. I appreciate that he was willing to take me on for my second match and like actually try and do something with me. A lot of folks just don't give a shit.
All right, let's talk about an opponent you want to wrestle you haven't wrestled yet, and how come?
Oh,
more than one, that's okay.
Wrestled yet, man? Honestly, probably Effie. I am a huge fan of Effie, and it just. Yeah, I have a list of like there's signed guys on TV that I see all the time where it's like that'd be really cool to work them someday, or like local guys where I'd be like that'd be cool to get my rocks off. But Effie in my opinion would be the best because he always talks about how these dream matches are all bullshit. You should be caring about the matches that like make you the most money. And personally, I think I'd make a lot of money wrestling Effie. So hey, if it pisses him off, it pisses him off. But Effie's my dream match.
I think so. Anybody else come to mind?
Oh yeah, a few people like MJF would be a great one. Adam Cole's one of my favorites. Daniel Garcia is another one of my favorites. I'm not a very technical style wrestler, but if I could ever get the chance to wrestle with like people that are super technical, like the Daniel Garcias or the Bryan Danielsons, the Jonathan Greshams, like those kind of people, I always love them.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Let's go into match you haven't had yet that you want to have, and why?
Man, a TLC, just because again it goes back to the very root of what made me get into professional wrestling was that TLC match. So I like if I ever get the chance down the line, I'd love to do one.
Okay. All right. Who would you have? Who would you like to have that match with?
It's got to be someone I trust, because those kind of like hardcore like death match style like matches, they always worry me, because there's a lot of guys that don't know what they're doing, or a lot of guys that just like simply don't care. And I care quite a bit about my body, so I would like to do it with somebody that's pretty safe. I'm close friends with a guy named Remington Roar who's big on the death match scene, so if I got to have that with him, I would be at peace if I died.
Well, let's avoid that. All right, let's avoid that. All right. Talk about some promotions you want to work for, but you haven't worked for yet. Why do you want to work for those promotions?
There's a ton, man. Wrestle Revolver comes through my region of the country quite a bit. There's promotions in Florida that I'd love to work. There's especially Creative Pro up in I think it's like New York, New Jersey area. Correct me if I'm wrong.
My neck of the woods right here, Hicksville,
yeah.
New York.
Creative Pro would be awesome. What's the promo? GCW, obviously. They're like basically homes up there. And then DPW. DPW would be a really cool promotion to work for.
Okay. All right. What about overseas? Tell me about any any countries you would like to go to first.
Honestly, I love traveling, so any country would be cool. But my number one country I want to go to is either going to be the UK or Japan, just because their wrestling scene is thriving beyond belief in both of those places. And in the UK, there's just a ton of great promotions, like pretty sure Progress and a few other places. Like I had one of my mentors, he recently went overseas for a little week or two long excursion, and he wrestled for WWX in Germany, so that would be a lot of fun as well.
All right, cool. What has been the best advice someone in the business that you respect has given you?
The best advice? Travel. I know people usually always say traveling is the best way to get your name out there, but it truly is. And a lot of people like to give Oklahoma shit because not enough guys travel outside of Oklahoma, and they expect to get their names out. And you do have to travel to get your name out there, but for the most part, like other places like, Texas or Florida or Philadelphia area, New York area, like all those thriving indie scenes, you still have to leave that area to get famous. You can't just like solely stay in one place. So if I had to give same advice back to anybody, man, it's travel. It's exhausting. It wears you down. It makes you think about if you even love wrestling still or not. But, It'll help you in the long run if you truly do.
That's a great piece of advice, because it also works for podcasters. If you want to get your name out there, you gotta travel, you gotta hustle.
Yeah, always gotta hustle, man.
You gotta hustle. Can't depend on someone else to take you. You gotta go yourself.
Nope, it's all about the work, man. You gotta put in the work, the sweat, the elbow grease, the miles, all of that.
That's right. I've even done ring crew.
Dude, yeah, you're telling me I'm about to risk myself going all the way across the country to maybe do ring crew for a couple of companies. So I feel you, dude.
Yeah, that advice came up here. There was a tryout Saturday. They said if you don't get picked, come to the shows, because people were chosen before.
Yeah.
Were selected after they weren't selected, because they came to the shows, they helped out, and they showed, hey, this is what they want to do, you know?
Thankfully, wrestling in a way is sort of the same all across the board, where if you just like go and help at a promotion, you're likely to get booked, and that's just how it works in almost every area of the world, thankfully.
Thank goodness. I got to go help out more promotions now. Holy cow.
Yeah, no kidding.
but I need toll money, man. The tolls are expensive.
They're getting bad.
Serena says you can't expect people to hear about you if you're not willing to take those chances.
That's true.
She's not wrong. Good advice,
Either way,
Serena.
I get to go to a cool city I've never been to in my life and be with some friends on a really cool weekend for the thing I love the most, which is professional wrestling. So either way, whether I get booked or not, I see it as a win.
You're still winning over there.
Yep.
100%. Let me change the top, man. I'll take my old logo off. Yikes. All right. Tell me, what is Logan night to do for fun? Do you collect? Do you watch TV?
Man, besides the wrestling, I'm a huge NBA fan. I'm from Oklahoma City, but a lot of my family's from Detroit. So by proxy, I'm a Detroit Pistons fan. Unfortunately, the Oklahoma City Thunder did not show up in time before I got into basketball as a child. So they are my second team, and I have to be stuck with a god-awful sports franchise in the Pistons. But, you know, hey, it makes you tougher. You get to learn along with them about the value of overcoming loss. But no, I love the NBA a lot. I was always huge about basketball growing up, and it's what I like. The first thing I ever wanted to be was a professional wrestler, but I kind of got to a point in my life where I thought it was like fake and made up. Like, not like the sport itself, like obviously yes, but like I'm talking about, like, it's like if a kid wanted to be an actor or a doctor. It's kind of far-fetched, you know. So I was like, oh, I'm never going to be a wrestler, and I moved on. So I started playing basketball, and that was my love for quite a bit. But once I realized I was, like, you know, 6'1" and white, I was like, I kind of gotta pack it up and do something else, man.
Gotta change your goals over there.
Yeah, I had to change up the goals a little bit, but I'm interested in a lot of things. I'm obviously huge into, like, the LGBT community, so I'd like to, you know, provide any help I can for outreach or, like, you know, representation. You know, like in Oklahoma, it's hard to be that sort of thing and be open about it, but like wrestling's taught me to be tough, and if anyone is gonna beat me down, it's definitely not gonna be a homophobe. I can promise you that. But
speaking of which, I saw you put in for a Brian F. Pro's collage that he does.
Yeah, yeah. I came out last year, and that's actually been pretty good.
That's
in a sense,
pretty cool.
Because like I hate that I always hear that people have really bad coming out stories where people don't accept them. I guess it helps that I waited until I was about 24 to do it, but like it was never out of apprehension. It was just because I wasn't sure. And once I became sure, I was perfectly open about it. I mean, pretty much everyone that's been around me is kind of like already assumed or guessed, you know, the gimmick's kind of flamboyant and out there. So people were like, you're a little fruity, aren't you? And I was like, maybe, you know. But when that happened, people started to just like kind of accept me more and respect me a little more. I feel like once I accepted myself and got comfortable with myself, people started, you know, see that and book me more and see more value in me. And, you know, I hate that, you know, getting booked more came at the cost of, you know, being open about who I love behind the scenes. But hey, if it helps my wrestling career, I'm fine with it.
it's a bonus perk.
Yeah, it's a bonus perk. I actually just got done last week doing a podcast interview with LGBT in the Ring, who's like the biggest like LGBT/wrestling based podcast, which is a lot of fun. They do the QWI list that comes out every year, and you know, as much as he doesn't want to, you know, say that it doesn't help, but Brian F. Pro's like his little collages that he does, I think that helps me even get noticed by the guy that does the QWI. So,
oh, wow.
Brian F. Pro, dude, if you hear this, thank you for putting me on your collage, man. That's all I got to say.
That's right. Thank you for putting me on his. I was in Hispanic Heritage Month.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I love that there's someone out there doing that sort of thing. The representation's great. I know there's a lot of people that's like, why do we got to put limitations and say who's the best in what category? And it's like, that's not what it's about. It's just showing the scene off, man. Be proud, you know, like just be happy that we have this sort of representation in such a weird entertainment industry.
It's a great entertainment industry.
It is. It's fantastic. And we have people from every walk of life. Like, I don't know if you've seen it, but the Ugandan, like, wrestling society, like, federation that's popped up on the internet over the last couple of weeks, where it's just, like, citizens in Uganda wrestling in their backyard and, like, imitating big WWE spots and putting on these fully produced edited shows in the middle of a jungle. It's fantastic. Like we have the leaps and bounds to, you know, inspire people that are living in huts. That's insane.
Nice.
Like I love
Insane.
professional wrestling. It's great.
I love it. I love wrestling as well. That's why we're all here sacrificing to do it because we love it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. What's your favorite food? What do you like to eat? What's your favorite
Man,
snacks?
I've been on a huge like diet and nutrition kick lately because I'm trying to look the part, look like a wrestler, and it's tough because you can't eat a lot of things. But if I got to just like
not easy.
if I got to just break the chains, eat whatever I want, it's like the fattiest steak I can find, steak or like a burger. I'm so huge on that sort of food, like a good just like New York style strip. Like I would go crazy right now, but it's just not on the menu, if you know what I mean.
The steak is all carbs though.
It's all carbs and fat and protein, and like carbs and protein are fine, but it's the fat that's getting me. Like I have to hit like a real low fat quota. I was 255 pounds May of last year, and now I'm like 218. So I'm trying my hardest to keep to it because the work has been such a long period of time that anytime I get like a fixation or like I need to eat this kind of food, like a craving type of thing, I always just think about how long it took me to like lose that weight and how much work it took, like the 2 hours in the gym 3 to 4 times a week for damn near a year now. It made me think about that. The joy I would get from eating a burger or like a big old fat piece of steak is very, very minimal to the amount of effort that I put in to, lose it.
It's a lot of effort, I know. I got to go to the gym later.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
It is hard, man. Serena says if you had to pick which company would be the best for you between AEW, WWE, TNA, or NWA, which would you pick?
It's always so tough because like I personally, I like money and I want money, and I know that there's not a lot of places in wrestling that will offer that. However, I also love freedom and the ability to be like wrestling. I've noticed with WWE guys that like they'll get signed and then they just like won't wrestle for months upon months, half a year, a full year, like just never being used, and they can't wrestle these indie companies and they can't go like do the thing they love and make money off of it. So that really scares me in that aspect. But at the same time, WWE is like what introduced me to wrestling. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know about the NWA or AWA. I learned about Ring of Honor when I was 7, and I freaking love Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is amazing. But now they're under the conglomerate of AEW. So it's like, if I want to go to Ring of Honor, I technically want to go to AEW. And for my big answer, yes, I like the most optimal answer for me is AEW. I just appreciate their style of wrestling, and I am very much more a like storyteller and slowed down style wrestler. Like sometimes I'll do the flips, I'll do the ohs, the ahs, all that kind of thing, but I just am not as fast of a wrestler as the people I see on AEW, and I feel like that's where I wouldn't get the chance. However, if I do ever get the chance, that would be the place. They have all the guys I loved growing up, and then all the dudes that I saw in Ring of Honor, where I was like, it's really awesome that these guys are wrestling not on WWE, and they get to draw like that. Because even as a kid, I noticed that. I was like, how are these guys not on national TV, and they're pulling out these amazing matches that I've never seen before? So I just visibility would probably be the issue there, but AEW would be where I want to go the most. But I'll take it anywhere, man. I'm not going to say no to anybody. A beggar can't be a chooser.
I hear you. All right, tell me about your goals for the rest of 2024.
The rest of 2024, man, I had a lot of goals. Starting out the year, I was kind of thinking about one of my big goals was like, I want to wrestle on Big Gay Brunch, Effie's Big Gay Brunch, and that'd be pretty cool. But the one that's coming up here in Philadelphia for WrestleMania weekend, that's going to be the last one he does probably ever or for the foreseeable future is what he is saying. So, I have one last shot in the barrel. Maybe someone will drop out the weekend of, and I'll be there being like, hey. But
I'm in.
No, Big Gay Brunch would be really cool to be a part of. Yeah, man, it's tough. Like I have so many places I want to wrestle and go to that the answers don't even begin to like scratch the surface. I want to be everywhere and go everywhere at the same time. I wish I was two people so I could be at two places at the same time.
Gotcha. Serena says, "Oh wow, his last big game brunch. That stinks. I'm sorry to hear that."
Yeah, I guess they're exhausting him, man. I listen to his podcast every week, and he's talking about how they're getting to him, and you know, I can't blame him. The being a booker is the last thing I want to be in professional wrestling. Like once I'm hurt or retired or you know I'm hanging the boots up, the last thing I'm ever going to try to be is a booker. It just sounds so stressful. I would rather train people or promote or just like look cute on the sideline. I don't know. Booker sounds awful.
book. I talk to a lot of bookers. It's tough.
They always seem way too stressed out.
I was about to say a lot of stress, man. They're like, "You want to be a booker?" I'm like, "No." They're like, oh, okay. maybe. We'll see.
But for the rest of 2024, man, I'm like the Big A brunch. Like that was a big goal. But if it doesn't happen, no harm, no foul. I get it. I want to travel internationally. I do know of a few companies that are interested in booking me that are from Canada and like Mexico and stuff like that. And I know I could probably reach out to a few people in the UK, but I have to work on getting my passport figured out. I gotta get my birth certificate, my passport, which is on the docket for this week for chores. So that'll be happening soon. Just depends on dates. So I really want to go international. I did extra work last year for WWE, but I'd like to do extra work this year, potentially for AEW if it ever pops up. And, you know, just keep wrestling quality matches that'll get me like looked at. I'm not a very asking guy of professional wrestling. I just don't want to die, and I want to get people to go, hey, that was badass. Those are the only two things I want from professional wrestling.
All right. Logan, thank you for coming on the podcast. I had a great time talking to you, and we got to have you back on.
Oh, for sure.
All right, let everybody know where they can follow you and where they can get some Logan Knight merch.
Ooh, okay, yeah. You can follow me at Logan Knight Pro on basically everything. I'm Logan Knight on Facebook, Logan Knight Pro on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that good jazz. You can find me on Pro Wrestling Tees. I have a store on there. I need to get the Only Friends merch store uploaded to Pro Wrestling Tees or another wrestling tees conglomerate, whoever wants to give us the best deal. But you can also always buy merch for me on any indie show that I'm on. I wrestle in Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, Arkansas monthly. I go to Colorado. I go all over the place, man. If anybody outside of those places wants to book me, you know, all my social media, I'm on it
book Logan
all the
Knight.
time, unfortunately, you know.
Book Logan Knight as well. Follow him as well and support Logan and all independent wrestling, right?
Yeah, for sure.
100% agree, Logan. As for me, I will be back tomorrow night at 7 o'clock with the one and only Brittany Savage joining me. We haven't chatted in a while, and she's coming back on to talk to yours truly, Papa Dank, followed by Lexi Green. She's coming to join me for the first time. And then I'm doing an EPW Super Show. Do you know EPW?
No, but the home promotion I work for here in Oklahoma is called EPW, so it threw me off for a second.
They are coming. We are doing the Super Show. We got Maddie, the American Baddie.
Oh,
Justin
okay. I've heard of
Clyde.
that.
Justin Clyde, my pal, Justin Clyde, the frat row hero, Brandon Savage, and Tracy Lee Hunt, all joining me on April 2nd. That is the week of WrestleMania.
I know.
I am busy that week.
There's so many things happening that week, man.
So much happening. So much.
I'll be in the area from Thursday to Sunday if anybody's interested. As a little last shout out, you know.
Hey, man, I'm ready to get booked. I mean, I can always do the podcast on my phone. I mean, I could be in the area if you want me for your shows. Let me know. But this Saturday, I am going to be at the Big Event New York, right here in Brentwood, New York, with PJ Savage, Ryan Peterson, and the Cotton Candy Princess Tiffany Avatar, the new Goddesses of War champion. They're going to hop in our little cars. I'm going to drive down to Bayshore over here in Long Island and go to VPW's Before the Storm. So make sure you get your tickets for Victory Pro Wrestling.
Nice.
It's going to be a huge event as her first appearance after leaving NXT, formerly Amari Miller, Cameron will be at Before the Storm, so you're not going to want to miss BPW after big event. Woo. And also, if you want to check out the Papa Dank commercial, it is running with SICW Wrestling on their YouTube channel and on their shows. Make sure you follow them and check them out as well. And then we're going to head on over in April to my good pals, the SATs. You might have heard of them. They were on Ring of Honor. They got Winter Circle coming up on April 20th.
Nice.
Make sure you go to Wrestling Is Now to get your tickets for that event. And, man, I'm excited for a big event, man. It is going to be huge. Lots
Or
of
big.
stars there, Logan. Lots of stars. Look at that. Look at the list right there. Big show. MJF was not going to be there. This is the old flyer. He canceled.
Dang it.
He canceled. But Jushin Thunder Liger.
That'd be cool.
Kevin Von Erich, Mickey James,
Nice.
Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibel, who hasn't been out in a while, CJ Perry, and, of course, Mandy Rose, a.k.a. Amanda Sachs. Make sure you go to Big Event New York and get your tickets for that. EPW. Oh, that EPW is located in Missouri.
Ooh, right next door. I'll have to investigate.
FYI, you're gonna have to check out the show and check out all the talent there coming on.
Yeah, for sure.
Hang out with me. All right, everybody from Instagram land, I gotta say goodbye to you guys. Have a good night if I can get it working. If not, see you later, buddies. All right, everybody else, have a good night. Logan, hang out for a second.